Last week was the first time in 22 weeks that we have had more than 1,000 listings hit the market in a single week. Find out how all that inventory will affect buyers and sellers on your Monday Market Monitor. I am excited to get to the latest data from the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver for the week of February 27th to March 5th, 2023. We have seen an increased inventory and several crazy stats to discuss. So let's get started. Let's talk about new listings. As I mentioned in the opener, last week was the first time in 22 weeks that we have seen 1,000 plus listings come to the market in a single week. So we got 1,047 of them last week. And if the numbers keep increasing week over week, we may see some easing on the multiple offers that we've been talking about. And that I'll touch on in just a bit. It was the end of February, so we saw a pop in the number of listings that expired or came to the end of their term, typical of the end of the month. And we're about 20 or so units below the historical average. Everyone say hi to Mash, my cat, which is not a surprise given that we are short inventory and there have been a number of units selling relatively quickly. As for price changes, we've seen a little jump in the number of homes rethinking their pricing strategy. In fact, 20 to 201 sellers thought that adjusting their price would be a great idea. And this is a sound strategy for most, given that well-priced places are selling fast. Speaking of selling, we had 581 successful sales last week. That took an average of 14 days to get a successful sale. He's trying to steal a spotlight. What is mind-blowing about the number of sales is that we've never reached that number of sales in 1 week, the entire 35 weeks that I have been doing this video series. What does this tell us about the market right now? Buyers are comfortable with where the interest rates are at, and they are out in full force, as we're going to talk about. They are willing, once again, to compete for those properties. And I'm not lying when I say that buyers are willing to compete for those properties, because the percentage of properties that were sold at or above list price last week rose again, this time to 31%. And guess what I'm going to tell you next? That in the 35 weeks that I've been doing these videos, we have not seen the percentage that high. With 31% of the properties selling at or above list price, you gotta figure that the spring market is now in full force. And if you're a buyer in this market, you need to know that 71% of the sales that happened last week were either for condos or townhomes. Not to mention, again, that 54% of the 581 sales that happened last week were all under $1 million. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but buyers do not bother looking at homes without a complete approval from a reputable mortgage broker. You do not want to waste your time or anybody else's putting in an offer on a home that you cannot afford, especially if you find yourself in multiple offers. Sellers, if you have a condo or townhome, this is the perfect time to look at selling and making a move up if that's what you're looking to do. Because if you're well priced and priced right, you could be part of the 31% of successful home sales that were at or above list this time last week. So remember, if you want to have an in-depth conversation about the Vancouver real estate market and how these stats will affect your spring home sale or home purchase, then reach out for some expert advice. Thank you so much for tuning into your Monday Market Monitor, and we will see you in the next video.